Let's move over to Bitcoin because that's been really one of the biggest winners since the election. And as you know, one of the things that they've been talking about is having a Bitcoin reserve for the U.S. government, where they buy 200,000 Bitcoin, 250,000 for 4 years. They have a million Bitcoin in this reserve just to let the value go up. And there's all kinds of formulas, and you can go look it up. But the U.S. government uh, today transferred 19,800 Bitcoins worth approximately $2 billion to Coinbase Prime. This stash was seized from the infamous Silk Road marketplace, was part of the government's long-running effort to liquidate confiscated crypto assets. The funds initially moved to a fresh wallet with zero transaction history, were later deposited in Coinbase Prime, the go-to platform for institutional crypto trading. Speculation is rife that this signals an impending sale, which I know that a lot of the experts are like, why would you sell $1 billion worth of Bitcoin? And why not just keep it as part of your strategic reserve? And you're going to see a lot of experts in the industry say this is a bad idea. You're going to regret doing this. If Bitcoin goes to 200,000, 250,000, 1 million, okay, that 19,800 Bitcoin is going to be worth a lot more. Could certainly
Yeah.
deal a lot with our debt.
Do you
So
think?
again, why do it before a new administration comes in? What's the hurry? Okay, it just seems like the administration is trying to spend as much money as they can and do as much as they can that goes against what the new administration wants to do. And that's just my opinion, but it certainly looks that way to me.
It doesn't make much sense, and it's just a knee-jerk reaction, emotional reaction to say, "Oh, we lost, you won, but here I'm going to stick it to you." You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
It's unfortunate if that's really the case. Are they going to, is it, if it's worth $1 billion or whatever, are they going to take that and put it towards the national debt? No.
No, what are they going to do with it? Yeah, they're going to spend it. They're probably send it to Ukraine. Who
Right.
knows?
Or
Yeah, I
that
don't
or
know.
pay each other.
Yeah, because
Everybody
we're
gets
not
a
going to see.
end of the year
Maybe they
bonus.
could maybe they could send all of us taxpayers, a dividend check from that. Which will never happen, but be
Right.
nice to be thought of like regular people that we are. So I think
Yeah.
what he should do is they should call Michael Saylor, and he'll just buy it. Okay, with
Yeah.
MicroStrategy. Okay, and I own
Yeah.
Bitcoin, and I also own MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy stock was rising after the company announced it had purchased an additional 15,400 Bitcoin for $1.5 billion yesterday. Okay, this is on top of the 5.4 billion they bought last week. Okay, in a
Okay.
filing released Monday morning, MicroStrategy said it purchased the Bitcoin for an average price of 95,976, including fees and expenses. MicroStrategy now owns 402,100 Bitcoin, worth about 38.4 billion, according to benchmark analyst Mark Palmer. The company paid an average price of $58,263 per coin. So they're still up because we're sitting at about 95,000 right now. So
Wow.
again, they continue. I think his goal was a million Bitcoin, okay, which is what the U.S. government, if that bill in the Senate goes through, is what they would
Yeah.
require the U.S. government to have. But he continues to move forward with buying up Bitcoin. It's an asset. There's only 21 million of them out there, and he owns 402,000. So, there they go. And you got to
Yeah.
watch it with MicroStrategy. I own it. It's levered because they borrow and uh, they put out um, what do they call it?
Warrants.
Warrants. Well, it's not a warrant. It's a bond. It's a bond where you can it's zero
Oh,
interest. It's a convertible
convertible.
bond, and you can convert
Yeah.
it at a premium to a price. Like say right now, the price is at $400. Maybe it's 653. You can convert it in 5 years. So
Yeah.
if MicroStrategy goes up, to $2,000 in 5 years, you get a buy at 653, and you make the rest in profit. So that's why it's very, a lot of bond owners who can own crypto or 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 Bitcoin are doing this because this is their way into the market of the Bitcoin and the crypto
Yeah.
market. So anyway, look into it if you're going to do it. Not financial advice. It's an interesting asset class. It's a new asset class, but uh, it's interesting from the fact that Microsoft or MicroStrategy has used it in their treasury, replacing treasury bills, which he has suggested that if Michael Saylor could spend an hour with Warren Buffett, by the time they got out of that meeting, Warren Buffett would be putting some money into Bitcoin instead of treasuries. So Microsoft actually invited Michael Saylor out to address their board of directors, and they gave him 3 minutes. Okay. And he put together a
Three
presentation in
minutes.
3 minutes with 44 slides. Okay. And I put it in the crypto Discord of the Platinum channel. You can go watch it. 44 slides. He called for Microsoft board of directors to abandon their conventional financial reliance on treasury bonds, buybacks, and dividends, and instead embrace Bitcoin. He called for MicroStrategy to convert their bonds and buybacks to Bitcoin, arguing that the traditional investment only amplify the company's risk factors. According to Saylor, investing in Bitcoin eliminates counterparty risk from competitors, countries, corporations, creditors, cultures, or currencies. He projected that if Microsoft redirected all treasury funds, debt, cash flows, dividends, and share buyback allocation to Bitcoin, its share price could spike to $584 within the next decade, assuming the coin's value reaches 1.7 million per coin by the end of 2034. Saylor also proposed that Microsoft invest 100 billion annually in the asset, claiming it's more practical for the company to purchase Bitcoin instead of repurchasing stock and holding bonds. He said, "What if you could buy a $100 billion company growing faster than Microsoft for one time's revenue? What if you could keep doing that every single year?" Moreover, he believes Microsoft could see increments between 1 trillion and 4.9 trillion in shareholder value via Bitcoin by 2034. So Microsoft's interested. And if you see Microsoft starting to do this, because Tesla already has done it, Square has already
Yeah.
done it. Several companies. Mara has just bought some more, I believe. There's just a lot of them out there. But if you get Microsoft putting their treasury into Bitcoin, think of what Apple
Yeah.
might have to do, or what Nvidia might have to do, or you know, any of these, Mag sevens.
Well, you
So
look at
anyway,
the
just
states, was it Pennsylvania? They're talking about buying
seven
700
states,
million.
seven
Huh?
states are looking at it. Yeah,
I mean, wow. I mean, no wonder Michael Saylor's buying a ton more today and yesterday and whenever, because all it's going to do is just suck up the liquidity of it and drive it higher, you know?
right. Yeah, and
So,
that's why I like it, because it's a supply and demand issue, economics 101. Okay,
yeah,
so I see it personally, and it's not investment advice, as one of the greatest generational wealth potentials for regular investors. And you don't have to
yeah,
buy a full Bitcoin. We've talked about buying a tenth of a Bitcoin. When we first started talking, it would have been $6,500. Now it's $9,500. Okay, so it's not getting any cheaper. But if you believe, as Michael Saylor does, it's going to hit 13 million. That's pretty good return on your investment. But
it
again,
is.
not it's not financial advice, and you really need to study Bitcoin. It's a different animal. It's not a stock, as we've talked about before. It goes through cycles. It has seasons, and now it has this incredible demand based on new ETFs that are out there. Uh, Companies like BlackRock are buying it, Fidelity's buying it, ARK Invest is buying it. You're just seeing a lot of demand out there. So again, look into it. Don't take my word for it. Go out and check it out yourself. One of the things that Bitcoin is talking about is price discovery. So Bitcoin could be in for some insane long-term opportunities over the coming months. As traders say, Bitcoin has now entered uh, a price discovery phase. Okay, a price discovery phase. Price discovery is a process that determines an asset's fair market price through the interaction of buyers and sellers, and a new phase begins once it trades above all-time highs, which it just did. Okay, we were about at 73,000 as an all-time high. Now it's traded up to 98.5. So Bitcoin has begun its price discovery phase for this cycle, as the asset has traded above its previous all-time high for almost a month now. In the past two cycles following the discovery stage, Bitcoin went up 1,600% during the 2017 bull market and 245% during the 2021 bull market after it entered price discovery.
Hmm.
Chaparral Fund founder Charles Edwards commented, "Every cycle we get 4 to 7 months of insane Bitcoin price discovery returns," adding that the first month has just occurred in November, which we saw the asset surge 40% and break monthly candle records. The next months will have insane long opportunities, he predicted. December has also been a bullish month for Bitcoin historically. Bitcoin reclaimed the 98,000 during the early trading on December 2nd, but has retreated below 97,000 since, trading just 3.3% below its November 22nd all-time high of 99,800 at the time of this writing. And analysts tell Cointelegraph there could be more to come in December. Historically, Bitcoin has averaged a 10% increase in December with blockbuster performances in 2010, 2011, and 2020. 10x Research founder and CEO Marcus Thielen told Cointelegraph. He added that this was especially true during halving years when the December returns of 6% in 2012, 31% in 2016, and 47% in 2020, averaging a remarkable 28%. All three halving years posted positive returns in December, he said. So, past records is not an indication of futures, but we just went through a halving year this year. So it'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see, being this early, if we're going to get above 100,000 and if that's the catalyst to make it go even higher. I don't know, but there's still a lot of enthusiasm for it.
sure. I think it's one of those assets that is now maturing into a legitimate um asset class that corporations and states and countries are actually using as a way to outrun inflation, to make their countries wealthier. And it's really comes down to the basic mechanics of it. There's only so many shares. There only be in the less shares are distributed each year or each 4 years. So the
Satoshis.
halving, Satoshis, and
Yep.
it just gets cut and cut. And so, and there's no human beings running a board. There's no changing how they're going to do anything. It's all math. It's very simple. And I think more and more I'm seeing people understand that clearer that it's not, it can't be hacked or hasn't been hacked, and it's not being manipulated. So what's the purest form of investment I can have? And it's take out all the variables that screw up stock prices. And all of a sudden you got Bitcoin. So,
Well, I think, it started out during the great financial crisis. And since that time, interest rates went to zero. We printed a lot of money. We devalued our dollar. Okay. And this was a way to store your wealth. Okay. Like gold, except it's digital. It's digital
right,
storage. You can take it with you. And there's only so much Bitcoin, like you said, 21 million divided into, each Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis. Okay. So you can buy
right,
one Satoshi. If you want $10, you can buy $1. You can do whatever you want. Then you can take it, store it. If you need some money, you can transfer it into any kind of money you want. You want to go into a ruble, you want to go into a Chinese yuan, you want to go into a peso, you want to change it into US dollar. And it's a store of money and it goes up. And that's the whole idea about MicroStrategy, putting it in their treasury, is that over time, this has gone up 40 to 60% since its inception every year. When the S&P average is like 10 to 12%. But your buying power and inflation are taking away the value of the dollar. So if you're just having it in a savings account or a treasury bill making 4%, you're actually losing money. Is what the whole idea is. So anyway,
yeah, yeah.
it's
I
something
think
worth
that's the one
looking
thing
at.
it is. And I think it's, is it 100% of your assets? No, no. Is it something that can provide support and uh what's that word? Um anyhow, it can give you a lot of opportunities to offset and hedge out your other positions as well. It is pretty heavily correlated to the US dollar. It's right around the 95 correlation. So dollar goes up, it's going to go up about 5% less than the dollar. So that's something to take into account. But if the dollar strengthens and you're just using those correlations, Bitcoin's going to strengthen as
Right.
well.
And I think people get it mixed. I mean, it can be used in exchange for goods and services, but that's not its purpose. Its purpose is a digital store of value, and
Yeah,
the U.S. dollar is an actual currency. So you can take your dollar, transform it into Bitcoin, let it grow, just like a bank account, or you have it in gold and gold goes up. You can take, except you don't have to sell gold. You can sell a Satoshi of Bitcoin and change it back into a dollar or a yuan or whatever you want it to do. And
yeah,
that's really the value that I see in it as a store of value that's mobile. doesn't have a third party like a bank in there that can take my money or stop. Say you can only have $10,000 a day or a week or a month, and it's more independence in your cash, and that's why I like it. And it's an alternate investment. It's one that most people know anything about. I talked to a lot of people about it, and they just don't understand it. But a lot of people didn't understand the internet. A lot of people don't understand artificial intelligence. A lot of people didn't understand automobiles when they came out or airplanes. But here we are. So anyway,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to
yeah,
sell anyone on it. I'm just saying you should look into it, spend a little time on it.
yeah.
As an
I
average
agree.
guy, that's what I am.
Yeah. And honestly, I think any investment you make, any process of investing you do, you need to spend time understanding what you're doing and
Right.
understand if you have an advisor or something, understand their thinking, how they're going about managing your money. Because at the end of the day, it's your money. You
Yep.
worked hard. So might as well know something about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's we beat that horse to death. Don't mean to, don't nothing against horses. I used to own some. Let's go to the economy. Last week the PCA came out, our PCE came out, the Fed's favorite inflation indicator. Core PCE ticked up noticeably in October to 2.8%. So away from that 2% that they're trying to get at, the highest since
Mhm.
April. Headline PCE rose 0.2% month over month, lifting it to 2.3% year over year, up from 2.1% prior. The jump in the services and durable goods costs drove the reignition of inflation. So you saw the CPI, the PPI went up, PCE's gone up, inflation is now still going up, and the Fed is still talking about dropping rates, which will increase the inflation any further. So the other side of that is employment. So on Friday, we get the November non-farm payroll report. And if you remember, the U.S. economy only added 12,000 jobs in October, the last report of 2024. It was the lowest job growth since December of 2020, when 243,000 jobs were lost. And of course, the previous months were revised sharply lower again. August was revised down by 81,000 from 159,000 to 78,000. September was revised down by 31,000 from 254,000 to 223,000. With these revisions, employment in August and September combined is 112,000 lower than previously reported. This means that even after September revisions, when 818,000 jobs were removed, 7 of the past 10 months were again revised lower. So, what's going to happen this week? With added jobs and revisions, are we going to see a negative number? Are we going to see that 12,000 revised down to negative? It's going to be interesting. Um,
Yeah.
so, again, what do you think? I mean, I think it's going to be interesting. This is going to be a big jobs report because if
I
we have higher inflation, and we start to see unemployment go up, that goes right into my world of what I've been saying, stagflation, which is not
yeah.
what we want.
Well, my question is, will the number be a true number? And because of the election going the opposite way of the existing administration, will we see if we do see a negative number, how does the market react to it? Or is it already priced into the market? Is the market looking at going, yeah, they're going to revise and it's going to be a negative number?
I don't
Fine.
think it's priced in the market. We'd see it. I think we'd see a bigger dip in the market if that happened.
Do you?
Yeah, because that means can the Fed continually to cut rates when unemployment's going up and inflation's going up?
Yeah.
I don't see how they can do it. I mean, and a lot of experts said they should have cut rates, going back to the 50 basis points.
Yeah.
Um, I think they're
Yeah.
falling into the same trap that we did, in the 80s when they started cutting too soon. Inflation reignited, and you can see what happened. We don't learn from history, but we'll find out. Time will tell. But as
Yeah.
far as unemployment goes, I look at numbers every day. Cargill said on Tuesday, today, it plans to cut around 5% of its staff or 8,000 jobs after revenue slumped in its most recent fiscal year as crop prices hit multi-year lows. Almost 100,000 workers joined walkout at Volkswagen's German plants on Monday in protest at management plan to cut wages and even close sites in Europe's biggest car maker. Ingram Micro announced on Monday the company plans to lay off 850 employees by the end of the first quarter of 2025 as a part of restructuring. Starbucks is slashing its corporate employees' holiday bonuses by 40% as the coffee giant has suffered its worst year since it got slammed by a pandemic in 2020. Starbucks global same-store sales fell 2% this fiscal year. People aren't buying coffee, high-priced coffee anymore. Okay. Bristol Myers Squibb executed another round of layoffs in its ongoing cost-saving push. The company just handed pink slips to 195 more employees, according to New Jersey Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Update. Novartis is laying off 139 staffers in East Hanover, New Jersey, where the company's U.S. headquarters is located. Visa is the latest Bay Area-based company to announce it will be cutting jobs. San Francisco-based credit card and finance company announced it would be cutting over 200 jobs locally in state filings. Okay, so again, you would think credit card companies with all the high debt and all the transactions would be one of the last to lay off. But there is a bright side. Okay, and I'll end with this. And 2Regular guys, if you do get laid off from your high-paying tech job or Visa job, Amazon is hiring over 250,000 employees in anticipation of the holiday season. While some of these jobs at Amazon are seasonal, there are many that have the possibility of full-time employment. So there you go.
Wow. Oh, on a good note,
Yeah. So,
hopefully,
happy holidays. But I'm just looking at, we started this whole day with optimism, and we're seeing optimism, but we ended it with, okay, what's the reality of what we're seeing? And we'll know a
right.
lot more on Friday when that non-jobs payroll comes out. And again, here on our channel, we're going to dig into that, give you the right,
Yeah.
what actually is going to happen. We'll talk about it, on our Zoom call on Friday.
Well, and if you're part of the Platinum channel, this conversation will be had during the 11:30 Central uh, swing trading call. So, because the news would have come out earlier that morning. So, if you're not a subscriber, there's a 14-day free trial. Definitely sign up if you can and learn more about the Platinum channel. Join our call on 11:30 a.m. on Friday as a trial member, and you can learn more about what we do there and how we educate and how we help you become a better investor. In the meantime, we hope you hit the subscribe button and the like button. Go check us out at bestofusinvestors.com or bus13.ai and check out our services and what we offer. We have a handful of free trials going on with the Gold channel and the Platinum channel, both 14-day trials. There's a lot we offer there for a very affordable price. And our whole goal at the end of the day is get you to be a smarter investor, make great decisions, and create wealth for you and your family. In the meantime, from Mark and me, have a great day, great week, and happy holidays. Peace. See ya.
And cut.